Wednesday. It's an opportunity to revisit some of the things we looked at Gathered Worship on Sunday. And this week we kicked off our Advent series. We were invited to join with one another on a journey toward the manger. And we were introduced to a couple of things on Sunday. And one was the prophet Jeremiah. Now, prophets can do a number of things, but they can foretell, they can proclaim, they can speak God's now word to his people so that they understand God's heart on something and, how he feels or thinks about something and what he might want them to do. They foretell, they proclaim. But they also foretell. They speak of those things that God is going to do, things which are yet to come to pass. And as we read from Jeremiah 33, Jeremiah talks of one from the branch of David. He talks of how God is going to bring all his people back from the places that they have been scattered, the Babylonian exile, of course. And he's going to enable them to live in the land and live in Jerusalem. And there's going to be a person that is significant in all that coming about. And it's someone from the branch of David. And Jeremiah says he will do what is right in the land. So it's there we were introduced to this idea of one coming in the line of a king. It was interesting that when the angel came to announce to Mary that she would bear a God's son, he talks of the child that is to come as the one who would sit on the throne of his father David and whose kingdom would reign forever. So we were introduced to this theme of kingship through the prophet Jeremiah, and also thinking about, a classic Advent reading from the Gospels, and this idea of the one who is to come would be a king somehow. And so we had someone bring a sign of that, which was a crown. They brought it to the front of the church, a sign of the king, a sign of the kingdom. And the kingdom is where the king reigns, isn't it? And so we began to think about, are we good at spotting the signs of the kingdom? Are we aware of God at work in this world, in us and even through us, spotting the signs of the kingdom as we journey toward Advent? And so we ended with this little kind of sheet here, which has the Lord's Prayer on it. That prayer that Jesus gave his disciples to pray, a pattern that they should use to incorporate these things in your daily prayer life. And one of the things on there, it says, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." And so with this theme of things to come, God at work in the world, and this idea of kingship, we asked ourselves, are we any good at spotting the signs of his kingdom coming about? And so the idea is that we kicked off each day with the Lord's Prayer and then use some questions to reflect on how we may have seen God at work. I've already started to fill in mine. Don't know how you're doing with yours, but I encourage you to keep going and have a go. And there's some questions there. How have I sought to honour God in my words and actions today? Where have I encountered his kingdom? Where have I needed to seek and offer forgiveness? How have I been conscious of his provision and protection? Those things to get us to reflect on our day, that we might understand, we might spot, we might recognise the signs of God at work in us and through us as we journey toward the manger in this season of Advent. It's a reminder, an anticipation of God coming into the world in and through Christ. And God has come into the world in and through Christ and is at work in our lives even now. But do we have eyes to see and ears to hear, that we might celebrate him at work in our lives? So I don't know how you've got on with your reflection. Again, just commend it to you. Give it a go and see where you get to. There's a week's worth of reflection there. Why not carry it on with the second week? Just see how you go. And at the end of this week, I pray, I hope, I long that we might together be those who can celebrate God at work in our lives. We can celebrate the kingdom coming in us and through us. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and may God bless you in this season of Advent.